Many of my clients are struggling to get service logs from the schools. Can you speak to schools' responsibilities to provide this documentation, and what legal steps can we take if they're not collecting this information?
Okay, and I missed the first part. What you said, logs?
Service logs?
Service logs. Okay. Well, if there's any one thing that the Supreme Court, in every case they've ever done in special ed, they do like one every 4 years or so, if you look at it. They haven't done that many, but in every one of them, they've said parental participation is absolutely the most important thing of IDEA. The whole idea, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act really is, it not only encourages, but it demands that parents are meaningful participants in the process. I think one of the most important decisions, I think, under the Supreme Court decision was a decision a few years ago out in the Ninth Circuit. Is called, in a case called MCV Antelope Hills. And essentially what they said is the IEP is like a contract. It's not like a contract, and schools are not bound to meet the goals, but it is a contract in whatever you said you will do, you've agreed to do in the IEP meeting. That's the contract part. That's what you need to do. And one of the things in the IDEA, and if you read the statute or the regulations, it talks about regularly reporting a child's progress. Parents have the right to receive that. And in this case, I'll talk about MCV Antelope. One of the things they said is schools too often, this is the way I interpret it, schools too often make the mistake of, we involve the parent in the meeting, in the IEP meeting, then we're done. We don't have to do anymore. That's not what the Ninth Circuit Court said. They said the parent is involved throughout the process. The parent is also involved in the monitoring of an IEP. And if they're not getting the progress reports, they're not being involved in the progress, in the monitoring. So we have to give them regular progress reports. And I know we'll be talking about this later, but that's one of the things I notice in a lot of hearings now is parents starting to ask for those, and schools don't often have them. That's a real problem.
And we'll have Dr. Taylor is one of our amazing partners. We'll get IEP progress reports, and it'll say in progress. Like somebody typed that out.
Yeah.
Like that for all, like we started in April 2023. Now we're in April, in progress, and last day mastered. I'm gonna need a little more to go on. And so, yeah. And we'll talk about it in measuring, but I don't, I think we don't equip our amazing educators who are serving our kiddos. And a lot of times, I think you can see this, you've probably seen this in nature of hearings, you can tell intuitively the teacher is probably doing all the things, but she wasn't trained into how do I capture proof of my, doing that, right? If you're a nurse, you have to chart what you did. That's part of their licensure. And we just throw these amazing teachers in there, and they're loving kids and serving kids, but nobody taught them the basics, which we're going to talk about in our next training. But it's one of the reasons that teachers leave the profession, because we spend so much money on, I don't know what we're doing in professional development, but it's not that.